Let's go! The Chiefs! Are you worried that the Texans are coming to town to pull off what would be one of the biggest divisional round upsets in recent memory? Obviously, you just played this team, and one thing the Chargers have over Kansas City is a better pair of edge rushers, right? Obviously, Bosa and Mack creating a lot of pressure here. C.J. Stroud rolling out to the right side. And one thing that's very, very interesting about the Texans beating a very good Chargers team is they really didn't play all that well, okay? So you get a drop pick here, and you get whatever the heck this is from C.J. Stroud in the pocket. Obviously, Bosa had a field day in this first half. He had a sack on the drive before this. So, as a Kansas City fan, do you feel good about getting pressure on CJ? Right here, he wasn't under, obviously, crazy duress. He just throws his football up directly to the DB right here. So, Stroud isn't necessarily playing well at all. Tank Dell, no Stephon Diggs. The guy you got to stop is Nico Collins, right? And Stroud, once again, it really was a tough performance. A lot of his big throws to Nico were like simple pitch and catch, things like that. You'll see it again here on this 3rd and 4, Nico Collins. Just a simple little out right here. All right, so if I'm Kansas City, you know Steve Spagnuolo is going to force somebody else other than number 12 to beat you. Here he is making yet again another play versus the Chargers. Stroud, very deep drop. Obviously could hit checkdowns here for some pretty good yards, but you want to hit this football deep. And the thing about Nico Collins is he is also really good after the catch, right? He eliminates his safety's angle, and guess what? He's picking up all these extra yards. And to cap off this drive, you got a little bit of RPO action right here from CJ, or at least I think this is an RPO, and it's just a simple little slant. And this release is just really good. Actually, it's not an RPO at all. It's just a simple drop back. And look, I mean, CJ beat this, or Nico beat this guy so bad that, man, there is 1.5 yards of separation right there. Every quarterback in the NFL is making that throw. So number 12 is playing at such a high level this year. And, you know, obviously Jamar Chase clears everyone in the AFC, but, man, Nico's not that far behind. Let's go to this 3rd in Corpus Christi just from a few weeks ago. Remember, Tank Dell was in this game. He was actually their leading receiver. And, well, CJ locks in and throws his football here to Nico Collins. And obviously this is a clear overthrow that turns into an INT. Bang. Okay? So, obviously, if you are Kansas City, you feel pretty good, right? Nico only had 60 yards in this game just a few weeks ago. And on this rep, this is just really good quarterback play and really good defense, right? Play action fake, and you get Nico in a one-on-one situation, press man coverage. This is honestly really good. If they're going to complete these for 11 to 12 yards at a time, it's not really that bad. And obviously, you know, Tu Williams, we talked about him in the Steelers film study. He's done some good things this year. And there's just going to be instances like this where he's going to beat you, all right? You know, this is going to be the big thing that Spags is going to have to decide. Are you going to let Nico get some matchups like this where he can cook, or are you going to force someone else to beat you? I don't know. I don't know what the correct answer is, but CJ does stick back there and make a really good throw. Now, one thing I would expect out of the Texans, throws to the running backs out of the backfield, right? I expect some screens. They had a big one when they almost upset the Lions earlier in the year to Joe Mixon. So be on the lookout for this. Obviously, this was a pretty big gain right here, and it is a good way to stop this Kansas City pass rush in Arrowhead. So I do expect some of this, whether it's to Mixon or potentially even a tight end. Let's talk about this Chiefs offense going up against the Texans defense, where things get very interesting is with Xavier Worthy, right? He was arguably the best offensive player on the field for Kansas City in this game, and this is where it got very interesting. So Ladd McConkey, a rookie receiver, had a big game last week versus the Texans. Here's Xavier Worthy going up against Derek Stingley. Now, once again, Stingley has been the Texans' best player on both sides of the football all year long. You'll see that he has to deal with this little traffic stop right there from DeAndre Hopkins. Xavier Worthy stops on a dime, and now he has Stingley all out of sorts on this third and medium. So, obviously, Stingley's really, 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 really good, and you'll see that he's able to fight back into the rep and tackle Xavier Worthy before he scores. So these kinds of like rubs and screens have given the Texans all kinds of issues. Now, this could have been communicated a little bit better in my mind from Houston, because it looks like Travis Kelce is blocking down the entire way. He's pretty much telling you what he's doing. So this should have been told to 45, hey, be on the lookout for this, and this should have been passed off a lot better in my estimation. But the Chiefs are so good at 2-for-1s and getting easy completions to wide open running backs out of the backfield. So, you saw it a little bit earlier, Mixon having a nice catch. I expect Pirine, and obviously, you can see in the top right corner of our screen one of our more viral film studies. I expect a lot of tight end kind of delay slips in this game. Now, this is where the Texans defense wants to be, forcing Mahomes to just be a drop back guy and playing locked up man-to-man coverage versus this Chiefs set of wide receivers that aren't the absolute best. Now, I really wish Mahomes would have thrown this go ball or this out and up here to Travis Kelce versus Derek Stingley. Man, I would have loved to have seen what would have happened there. But the Texans are going to feel pretty good about their DBs just playing straight man coverage and not having to deal with rubs and stuff like that. And you'll see that everybody, for the most part, is locked up. Now, Watson is somewhat open, but there was a safety over the top of it. Man, it's just good defense. Now, the Texans' defense, they are very good, right? We talked about this in our Justin Herbert breakdown from this past weekend. They will give a lot of really good quarterbacks their worst games of the year. But one weakness the Chiefs exploited in this game was running at Danielle Hunter. They had a huge run at the end of this game right at Danielle, and you can see that film study. It'll float in your face in a second from when we actually broke down this Chiefs victory over the Texans. But for my prediction on this game, it's just too much Kansas City. I'm sorry. I just think Mahomes will take care of business at home here. I understand it's tough to beat a good team twice. My question is, are the Texans even a good team? I'll let you come to your own conclusions, right? I'll go back to what I said earlier. The Chargers did more to lose that game than the Texans did to win it. And I think that was pretty clear in watching that game. So you guys let me know down below, who do you have going to the AFC Championship game? Bang! This is who I have winning it all. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight we are doing steak.